I have had some thoughts and opinions about MACPOW itself, MACPOW being make a change, punch oppressive women, since April, and about Portuguese MACPOW's method of waging war and general conduct since he started all of this back on Monday of this week when I'm recording. Now it's Sunday. And even before that, and I have decided to share my opinion here on both him and his cronies and the grift known as MACPOW. With that being said, let's begin. First things first, let's discuss MACPOW itself and why I don't like it, or see members of MACPOW as fellow MGTOWs and members of the Manosphere. MACPOW is an acronym meaning Make a Change, Punch Oppressive Women, which used to be Make a Change, Punch a Woman. And even the name itself shows the nature of this splinter group, which is supporting acts of violence. The reason why I don't like it and why it doesn't sit well with me and why I will never endorse it is because the idea of MACPOW, as presented by Portuguese MACPOW, is one of committing violence and behaving in violent and criminal manner towards others. I support self-defense and I support defending yourself, but that is not what MACPOW is about. MACPOW, as he himself would say, is about committing intentional acts of violence and generally using violence as a tool to achieve political aims in an offensive capacity and manner. This is why I cannot and will not support or endorse MACPOW. Supporting MACPOW or endorsing it and its methods is going to make all of us in MGTOW or the Manosphere end up on watch lists as government agents across the world quickly infiltrate MACPOW or radicalize this already radical and extreme movement. And when the first news story comes of MACPOWs doing something illegal or violent, it is only a matter of time before the government and the politicians pass laws declaring all of us terrorists or banning us due to the reckless and dangerous actions of Portuguese MACPOW and his complicit cronies. And this brings us to why I cannot view members of MACPOW as my fellow MGTOWs, my fellow brothers in arms in the Manosphere. The men who join MACPOW know what MACPOW stands for and what MACPOW and Portuguese MACPOW advocate for and the kinds of activities they endorse. They know that MACPOW, if it breaks into the mainstream and if they do something violent or illegal and it gets reported, will result in governments across the world treating everyone who is part of any group considered to be within the Manosphere as terrorist or terrorist sympathizers. This is the risk they accepted, and instead of acting responsibly and acting in a non-violent and peaceful manner and supporting MGTOW values and principles, have instead gone down the road of supporting a dangerous and splinter movement who puts everyone in MGTOW and the wider Manosphere at risk of being placed on a federal watch list, if not already there. If you knowingly choose to support MACPOW and are complicit in its activities, even if you are aware of its pro-violent nature, its tendencies, and are aware of the fact that it puts all of us at risk of being banned or considered terrorists, then you aren't one of my fellow MGTOWs or Manosphere brothers in arms, and I will not consider you that. MACPOW is a dangerous movement or grift that will ruin its members who are led astray by Portuguese MACPOW, and because of its dangerous and irresponsible nature, I'm 100% against it. I'm loyal to MGTOW and will support MGTOW, but under no circumstance will I support MACPOW, no matter the amount of followers Portuguese MACPOW may have. The amount of followers is not a factor in my decision making. Now on to my opinion on the conduct and attitude of Portuguese MACPOW himself throughout the conflict with me he manufactured and even before that. The events over this week on YouTube have shown Portuguese MACPOW to be a very dishonest, lying and manipulative person with no honor, and has shown him to be a very bad faith actor. In every community post I have made about him on YouTube, I provided my own receipts and evidence proving my point, while he has resorted to using bad faith taken out of context clips or outright manufacturing fake claims. A simple example would be him claiming I am gay. In this claim he used my poor expression in order to imply I admitted to being gay, when in actuality I was trying to say that the classmates back then called me gay due to being MGTOW. This was a cut from a stream in 2019, which I also backed up because I backed up his entire channel on MGTOW.tv. And being called gay is a near universal experience in MGTOW. Most of us have had that shaming tactic used against us of calling us gay. The reasons as to why I'm not gay should be obvious, but if it isn't, I will explain it quickly. I do not like or desire sex and do not experience sexual or romantic attraction towards anyone of any gender, and I consider sex or viewing anyone in a sexual way, and having desire for them, to be antithetical to my interpretation of MGTOW, and my views on how I should live a MGTOW life. I have said before in a community post that I would rather go to Ukraine than get laid, and I still stand by my opinion. I also do not have the libido to sustain any kind of want or desire for getting laid, and this argument by Portuguese MACPOW also fell apart the moment he called me an incel in denial, though in his comment he used the term inkwell instead. The lying and manipulative character of Portuguese MACPOW shines through the most with his unsubstantiated, strange and eccentric claims, particularly the claims that I'm sucking my own thumb, the claim that I'm Jewish, and the claims that I'm on medication or that my own relations with my parents are bad. All of which he has no evidence for, and the last one, he once again bases of a 2019 event, which is not the norm. And by not the norm, it's only 1% of everything that goes on. In that event, my parents tried to sabotage a livestream, something I viewed as a gross violation of boundaries. However, in no other time has any conflict with my parents happened, and I cooperate with my parents very well, working together in terms of finances and everything else. We work as a team. The manipulative part comes out the most in how Portuguese MACPOW responds when evidence is provided against him, and when his arguments are defeated. When I provided evidence, he advocated for extreme levels of violence in the form of mad cow meaning make a difference, kill a woman. He quickly resorted to trying to claim I was faking the evidence, faking the message names and profile pictures, and if I recall correctly, dismissing the transcript being the entire document of all messages sent between me and Portuguese MACPOW, as well as inventing his own claims out of thin air and using connections on Discord to smear me to other MGTOWs with larger followings than him, manufacturing false narratives to get the average MGTOW man to side with him and attempt to exile me. The reason I consider Portuguese MACPOW to be dishonourable and bad faith in conduct and behaviour is that he does nothing than to intentionally try to form a smear campaign against me and try to manipulate the average MGTOW man into attacking me. He has no argument of his own and doesn't engage in good faith. He doesn't attempt to prove any of the claims he has made against me and assumes that everyone is on his side by default, and that guilty until proven innocent is the law around MGTOW. With his unsubstantiated claims, he has resorted to making false accusations, something I consider to be highly dishonourable within MGTOW and the wider Manosphere, given the fact that Me Too and the consequences of false accusations of sexual harassment or assault made by women against men are still fresh in living memory. He has resorted to the same exact method of warfare as radical feminists. Instead of fighting this war like a true MGTOW, using facts, logic, and evidence, he has fought like a radical feminist in Manosphere clothing. He either makes stuff up, or cherry-picks clips out of context and behaves in ways that are beneath us MGTOWs and in ways that are dishonourable. Finally, and this ties into my first point, he is a usurper and a separatist, leading a splinter movement. He has formed a completely separate community known as MACPOW, Make a Change, Punch Oppressive Women, with separate values and principles from MGTOW. He has in effect decided to leave MGTOW and do his own thing, and doesn't even call himself MGTOW. I, on the other hand, have stayed true to MGTOW and MGTOW values and principles, and have stayed true to my MGTOW first mission of putting MGTOWs first, and have stayed true to the MGTOW first character. The fact he has the gall to call me a traitor to MGTOW, despite him not calling himself MGTOW, and advocating for positions and actions that harm the credibility of MGTOW and risk it being made illegal, is very appalling. He has no legitimate right to call me or anyone else in MGTOW a traitor to MGTOW, when he is a foreigner in a foreign group, serving foreign interests. This is especially true given his National Socialist leanings to which he admitted to. Evidence will be linked below. To sum it up, he has forsaken MGTOW for his own grift and acts with dishonour, lying about people and being manipulative, while I have stayed true to MGTOW and have continued to be its vanguard. Always putting the interests of the average MGTOW man and of the MGTOW philosophy above my own personal interests. He is a fraud, and this video is a full explanation of why I don't like him, why I don't like MACPOW, and why I'm against both. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe and click the bell notifications on YouTube, and follow me on MGTOW.tv, Odyssey.com and Twitter. Also join my Guilded server, and bye bye. Thanks for watching.